Alright guys, what's up? On the iPhone now, my camera is charging and I'm running out of time, so I got it from the video before I get started on this video. So, back to the video here. It is now a month later from the last video that you guys just saw. If you guys didn't know, we're running the Formula Drift Pro-Am Series, the UF Drift Circuit Series down here in Florida. Last round was round one. It went really, really good. The car performed flawlessly, absolutely zero issues. Fuel and tires all day. It was a blast, had a ton of fun, but we unfortunately could not finish the event. With that being said, we couldn't finish the event, and that calls for points. So points are very important. That's how we get our license, and there's only one licensed driver who is first in points in this series. So if you're not first in points, you don't get a license, and that's a big, big deal. That's why we're all doing this to get to Formula Drift. Again, we're in a Formula Drift Pro-Am series, and we're following all the FD rules, and me and a bunch of drivers had tried to tell Chris to please follow every FD rule, every single one possible. So in Formula Drift, in the rule book, it says if you cannot finish an event due to whatever, the top 8 drivers get equal points, and then that's ranked in where you seeded as where you qualified. So I seeded in 3rd. Well, I qualified basically in 3rd in the points rankings right now. So I think it's who's first. Acevedo's first, Nick Ward's second. I'm 3rd in points right now. So, but I am first in points out of all of this year's drivers. So it's pretty good. But 3rd place, I'll take it. Not a big deal, but all the points are equal. But it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. At least we got points. But either way, I had a fun time, and now it is a month later. It's been a very busy month. If you guys didn't know, I do work on 2 Formula Drift teams. I work on Ricky Hoffman's Pro Spec team, and I also work on Rad Dan's Pro team. So it's a lot of work, a lot of time, but I love it. I learn from it. It's a blast, and it's just a whole bunch of just like pure enjoyment for me to go work in Formula Drift and learn for myself to progress my friends and myself in the sport that we love. So yeah, it's a lot of time with that, with work. I had to move again. A bunch of stuff happened this past month, but we're moving on, and we're on to the next step of this year. But I haven't had a video out, not much content going on, so I want to make a video for you guys to let you guys know what's been going on, so we can finally get going on the next step. So, as you guys know, this car requires a lot of maintenance. It's basically a pro car, pro level car, so winners, quick change, built motor. You got to do all the maintenance you can, fluids, spark plugs, one-silver, all the above. Don't mind the fan noise. It's very, very hot in here. I'm not turning it off, so guys, try and deal with it. It's just way too hot to fan off. Anyway, so here we are. Here's my 1.5 GSE comp car. We've been doing a lot of videos over the years on this car, the progression of myself and the car, and we're finally at a very, very good point to where it just works very well, performs perfectly, and all we got to do is maintenance and once over and check it over. But it never ends. It never ends, but that's another video. So this video, we're gonna get to going on some maintenance, and I'm gonna show you guys what I do after every round or every event that I run on the car. So normally on most cars, you don't gotta do oil changes every time. You don't gotta do fluids every time. On normal gearboxes and differentials and less expensive parts in cars and stuff like that. But this car, very expensive engine, very expensive transmission, and very expensive differential. So you want to do fluids on them almost every single time you drive the car to keep the longevity and have fresh fluids in there at all times. Because in drifting, we beat the crap out of these cars, and we have to continuously do maintenance to keep everything rolling smooth. And a little bit aside from the maintenance stuff, we got some new rugged radio stuff I got online. So my crew had some pretty shitty radios last round, and it was just not it. So we got some new rugged radio stuff, nice carbon fiber headsets, got a bunch for the team. I got the moto kit for me. That way I can mount this in my helmet and then on my hydro, so I can talk to the team and hear them much clearer, so we're way more efficient. And I know I've given a full overview of this car so many times, but just so you guys know, 1.5 JZ, fully built. You guys can do as much oil changes as possible on a drift car. I do them every single event. I have a 4-speed GSR dog box in here. Definitely, you can get away with doing the fluid every other event, but I do it every event. And then a winner's quick change in the back of the car, I definitely do. I don't do that as much because we change the gear so often, you don't really have to, but I'm gonna flush it out, put all new fluid in there, and be done. Now the JZ takes about 5.5 quarts. I overfill it a little bit because the oil cooler adds about another quart. So, you know, we do the oil change, it kind of equals out to about 6 quarts with the oil cooler. The GSR actually only takes one quart of gear oil, which is crazy for a $9,000 transmission. I didn't pay that much, but that's what it costs now. Differential, it takes 4 quarts total, or just fill up till it comes out and you're good to go. So, yeah. All right, let's get to it. First things first, I'm gonna do the oil change, drain the oil, and then fill it back up, all fresh VR1, and then do spark plugs after that and continue on. All right, oil is drained, new filter's on, oil is in the pan, and I was about to go fill up my motor with some VR1, and I got some oil, but I noticed there was a 1030 bottle. What the heck is that? I need, of course, the good old 2050. Somehow I didn't see that when I bought it. I don't even know they had 1030 at the store. Must have been a mistake, but definitely gotta return that and not run that. Not run 1030. No, go away. See you later. So we're gonna go back to the store, get some 2050, and then get back in here, pour it in the motor, and continue on from there. All right, back from the store, got the correct oil, 2050. I have no idea how I missed that. Walmart does carry VR1 now. I just started carrying it, and I didn't know they had 1030 and 2050 in stores, so good to know. I'm glad I caught that. It would have been a bad time. So always on 2050, thicker oil, and yeah, let's get it in the motor. All right, back on the camera now. It's all charged up. Oil is in, brand new oil is in, fresh oil for the next event. Up next, spark plugs. Now, let's get those changed, swapped out, and see how they look. Alrighty, so the old plugs are out. They look fine, but they're kind of rusty on the bottom because this motor does sit for a while, and we found out that one ethanol doesn't have much oil in it, so we got some fogging oil, spray in the cylinders while the car sits for a while. That way we don't have any more rusty, kind of spark plugs, and the cylinder walls all lubricated while it sits. But everything's been healthy, looks fine, just a little bit rusty. But just to be safe, I added some fogging oil to each cylinder to make sure it's all lubricated in there. So up next is gear oil. We'll do that tomorrow, so I'm pausing for tonight. So I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, so it's the next day. It's time to do the winner's quick change fluid flush. So drain out the bottom right here, and then add in about 4 quarts to fill the whole thing up till it comes out and ready to go. If you guys don't know what a quick change is, it's a big differential they use in Circle Track and a bunch of other racing applications. And you can take this cover off right here. There's 2 gears, one big, one small. You guys can do a quick gear change ratio in competition to have the best wheel speed and be as fast as possible and efficient as possible, depending on the track you're at. So this thing is the best tool I've ever gotten for this car. It's absolutely amazing, and servicing it is very easy. So drain the fluid like any other diff, fill it up, and good to go. Let all that old fluid drain out. Definitely want to get these things changed within every other event on these cars, because the wear and tear is no joke, and the fluid's cheap compared to rebuilding a whole entire winter's diff. So if you have one of these, definitely change it frequently. Now, like I've said, I've always used the Valvoline 7590 gear oil for all my drivetrain, and it works really good in stores, and it has squeezy packets to where you can squeeze in the diff, no pumping necessary, and it's super easy, and it's always gonna be right. So now get the gear oil in the differential and be good to go. Got to fill up like 4 quarts, a little like 4.5 quarts, something like that, for it to be full and done and refreshed. All right, almost forgot one thing. There's one more thing I do on the car. It's very important. I pull the injectors out every round, get them cleaned, throw them back in, make sure they're all good. I didn't film it, but last time, right after the event last time, I pulled them out and cleaned them. They were absolutely perfect. A little bit, a little bit dirty, but nothing like bad, just like corrosion from, one ethanol. So this car does sit a long time, so like I do have to get them cleaned a lot to make sure they're fine, but overall it was nothing to be worried about, just preventative maintenance. But what I will do right now is pull the filter out, check it. If it's dirty, clean it. If it's really dirty, replace it, but it should be fine. It's brand new, and we have all PTFE lines now for the fill system, so shouldn't be any gunk, shouldn't be any rubber or anything, any contaminants in there at all. So I'm gonna pull it off, check it, clean it up, throw it back in there, and be good to go for maintenance. So fill system is like barely dirty. It's like barely anything in there. Great sign, doing its job like nothing. So I'm very stoked on that. Let's get it back in and then finish up. Okay, so oil change is done, spark plugs are done, diff fluid change is done, and then trans fluid change is also done as well. I didn't film that because I kind of went and did it. Not very entertaining. Pull a plug out, oil in, plug back in, donezo. 1 quart in the GSR, 4-speed dog box, and then it's refreshed and ready for the next round. So yeah, I just want to give you guys an overview of what happened and what's going on and what's coming to the channel again. And also show you guys the normal maintenance you got to do on really any drift car, especially a Pro-Am, Pro-Spec, Pro drift car. You guys definitely always want to do your fluids on your cars. Like, it's so important on drift cars, especially higher end drift cars like this with a built motor, dog box, winners, all that stuff. Straight cut gears always need fresh fluid every round for sure, no question. You guys got to do it. You got to pay to play. But yeah, you know. But again, I just want to give you guys a quick video on what's going on, some maintenance, and what we do between each round. Now, with that being said, the next round of Pro-Am is August 24th. It's in a few weeks. I don't have much really to do, but in a few weeks we have some new suspension coming in. I'm very excited to get it on the car, install it all ready, to actually get a proper shock on this car and corner balance the car. All the really cool nitty gritty spec setup on this car. This car has had a mild setup on it for a long time. Nothing crazy. It's never been corner balanced. I just kind of drive it the way it is. But it's time to get to that point when we do all that kind of stuff like corner balancing, proper shocks, proper valving, proper springs, all that kind of stuff. The BCs have done me great over the years, but it's time to go to the next level with this car. This car always gets something. It's crazy because like it's always so good, but there's always room to improve and it never ends. Even on pro cars we've seen FD, they're still getting data and improving on the world's best cars. It just never ends. It literally never freaking ends. But like, I love that stuff. I love learning. I love upgrading. I love finding out things that make me go fast and do well. So that's what we're doing. Next video I think should be either A, some trailer stuff, or B, we're going to be doing the new suspension on the car. So that brand is very, very well known. They're probably the best out there. They have been on the podium almost every round and they do amazing. I'm very excited to be working with them. I'll announce that in the next video. Well, next video, the one after that, but I'm very excited to get that on the car. But with that being said, this video is kind of like a whatever video because I don't have much to do right now, and it's been kind of a pausing point until the next round because the car ran so well. But again, maintenance is so important. Do your maintenance on your cars, on your drift cars. Very important on high-end drift cars like this. Your fluids are so important and they get real hot and beat the crap out of these cars. So you guys definitely want to get that done every round. Just do that. You guys definitely want to do that. It's super, super key to do that because you don't have any problems blowing diffs or transmissions or engines. Never ever, don't want to do that. It does happen, but in the next video, you guys will see the new suspension. I'm very excited about that. That's coming up next. But like I said, quick video for you guys. I want to get something out for you guys. I haven't been doing much. I'm trying to do this. Like, it's so hard to do this. I want to do this full time, but like, it's just not it right now. I really want to do it, but one day we will. But once again, thanks for guys for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon.